I'm
Right.
so excited to do this, to interview people all around the world about spirituality in my podcast, Love, Joy, and Heartset. And it is so amazing to have my friend here all the way from the USA, Dimario or Mario. And my name is Dimario, and this is so fun. Can you please introduce yourself? It's so nice to have you here. Thank you so much for coming on this show.
Absolutely, Hedda. And thank you so much for having me. I am just so grateful to be in your presence. Please know from my heart to yours, right now in this moment and forever, always, I love you.
I
We
love you
are
too.
connected.
Yeah. Oh,
So thank you for having me on. It is an extreme honor and privilege to be here with you, having this conversation, sharing this space, and holding this sacred space. So I first want to acknowledge you and acknowledge the divine presence and connection between the two of us, right? And my name is Dimario Habersham, and I was born and raised in the state of Georgia, which is in the southeastern part of the United States. I lived there for the first 18 years of my life, went off to college, decided to join the Army, and here I am now. And I met the beautiful Hede through our Spirit Junkie Collective, and we are indeed spirit junkies.
yes, we are,
We're
truly, we
fans.
are.
Yes, we're fans of everything spiritual. So I'm
Yes,
really, really happy to be here today with you, my love.
yes. Uh, can you tell me a little bit about your journey, how you find the spirituality in your life?
Mm. Well, growing up in southern Georgia, the southern part of the United States is typically referred to as the Bible Belt, right? And so there is a lot of emphasis on religion and religious adherence. And so my religious background tradition is Christianity. So I grew up attending church. My environments from, the home to school to neighborhood to my interactions with my neighbors was just drenched in Christianity. And so I had a very solid sense of religion, right, as I was growing up.
Mm.
And I adhered to the tenets of religion. It was only recently in my life, and I know the exact date, 1 July of 2019, that I really had a full blown experience with the transcendent being that I refer to as God or our creator or the universe, cracked wide open. So fast
Wow.
forward. Yeah,
Yeah. And it has
yeah,
happened so fast.
uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the beautiful thing about our creative. That's the beautiful thing about spirit is that we can have a 40-year wilderness experience and in the blink of an eye, literally, it has been less than 12 months. During this time, it is, as I say, God has restored unto me all the honor, all the divinity, all the gifts, all the love that I was born to dwell in my entire life. And so time means absolutely nothing to our creator. Absolutely nothing. I mean, God will put you on the fast track to where you need to be in as little time as necessary, because we have work to do. God don't have
Yes.
time to sit here and waste. He's like, you've already wasted 41 years of your life. Get your life
Yeah.
together, Mario. Let's go.
Yes, and it is so amazing what you have been able to do in this 1 year or 9 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And it's all because I was called, I was chosen, I chose, and I committed. And I committed to being still. I committed to listening, actively listening. I committed to being faithful and obedient. And all our Creator needs is someone who is willing, right?
Yes.
And as we are willing, the faith, the love, the obedience, the active listening all falls into place. And we are able to move expeditiously on our path to who we are, to our souls remembering who and whose we are. It's a beautiful
Wow.
experience.
Yes, it is. And it is like you are saying that you can have an an agenda in your life that I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and this and that, and then the universe is saying stop,
Mm-hmm.
and then you are like what, and they are showing you to another direction and you don't know where you are going, but
Mm-hmm.
you are feeling that you have to go there. So
Mm-hmm.
that is so interesting. It was like that with the US, to go to USA, to America, in November, when
Mm-hmm.
we met. It was
Yes.
like I had to go, and I know now why. Because we were, like we were talking earlier today, it was because we had to
Mm-hmm.
prepare for the masses,
Yes.
because we know that we are chosen to do this. We are chosen to help people now to really understand what is happening in the world.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes,
Because
absolutely.
yeah,
And not only that we are chosen, I do want to add that we exercising our free will, we
yes,
also choose and commit. And that's really, really important.
yes, that's really important, of course. And in the world right now, everything is a chaos, and people is not understanding why they are so angry, why they are so sad, why they have so much emotions. But it is like we are cleansing in a way. We are cleansing
Mm-hmm.
the earth. We are cleansing and making space for something new.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. It is like we are in the midst of a massive reset.
Yes,
And it's also, we are in the midst of a miraculous setup, right?
yes,
So whosoever hears, listens, and obeys will be well positioned to lead from a heart centered space, right?
yes,
From love, from truth, in this new paradigm in which we are currently shifting. To
yes,
me, that is what this is all about.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with
Mm-hmm.
you. It's
Mm-hmm.
it is shifting in a whole new way, and we can't. If someone has said that for 9 months ago, then I was wow, because it was overnight almost.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, it came, it seemed suddenly, right? But now we understand that COVID-19 was in the world and had been in the world for quite some time. And
Yes.
we were just now in the midst of this initial exposure, this initial wave. But that speaks to the point that we have to always posture ourselves to be prepared, prepared to rise to the occasion, prepared
Yes.
to meet the challenges head on. So this inner work that we've committed to, it is 24/7. It is all day, every day, being aware, being mindful, practicing love, being compassionate, being empathetic, being forgiving. This is the work that we do throughout the day, because we never know when we're going to find ourselves faced with this challenge where we will have to draw on those skills to not only show up for ourselves well, but to show up for our family members well, to show up for our friends and colleagues well, to
Yes.
show up for our neighbors in our communities well, and
Yes.
ultimately to show up well in the world.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. I'm so I'm feeling what you are saying, and it is so important what you are saying also, and that is why. What kind of spiritual practice do you do every day?
I meditate nearly every day. I don't
Yes.
meditate every day, but I tell you what I do engage in every day, and that is prayer without ceasing. Right. So
Yeah.
I am aware that the the portal of God consciousness, the portal to our creator and the universe is wide open. The gateway has always been wide open. So with that awareness, I center and ground myself every day so that I'm in a position to really hear and to listen and to communicate and to act in faith. And so from my Christian background, it's referred to in the Bible as prayer without ceasing, right? Which
Mm.
means we pray all day. We're in communication and commune with
Yes.
the Creator every day. But other than that, meditation is a huge focus in my area
Yeah.
in my life, because I have found that by being still and listening, I receive the answers. I receive the divine guidance.
Yes.
I'm able to ask critical questions so that I understand how I am to engage in the world. And so meditation allows me to do that. And one other practice that I would be remiss if I didn't mention it is breath work.
Yes.
I practice Soma, which is spelled Soma. They have plenty of breath work tutorials and exercises on YouTube
Hmm.
through their website. But I stumbled upon Soma maybe about 6 weeks ago, and I found it to be exhilarating because it combines breath work with meditation. And so, in an age where we are experiencing a disease, COVID-19, that
Mm.
restricts one's
Yes.
lungs, restricts one's ability to breathe, I
Yes.
celebrate this breathwork exercise regularly, because in those moments, it is like my body is acknowledging and praising the Creator. Thank you for my breath, you know? Thank
Yes.
you for my breath. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Hmm.
I really, really understand you, because I got the COVID-19, and it was so hard to breathe. And but my boyfriend said you have to try to do some yoga. So I was trying to do yoga, and it was helping me because I was expanding and I was doing the breathing. So then I got, and also he gave me a lot of herbs and uh, medicine, plant medicine that was helping me in that situation. So it was, and when you understand how it is when you can't breathe, and I was going out to just try to go out just outside the door because my doctor said that I could do that. And when I was out for 3 minutes and I had to go in because you couldn't breathe, then you really understand the power and how important it is to breathe. And so I'm so thankful for my breath also.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
And that is a celebration that we can engage in daily,
yes.
right? We often take it for granted. We often overlook our breath until we're not able to breathe. And then once we move through that situation, we are just, I'll speak for myself. Whenever I've moved through a situation where I could not breathe, to have the ability to just take a full inhalation and to exhale and release, it's miraculous.
Yes. And then you feel that the lungs is expanding and that you feel alive, and yes, it is. Yes. That's why I'm a yoga instructor as well, because it is so important for me, the breathing. Yeah.
Breath is life.
Yes, it is. It is. It is. Breath is what gives us the life. When we stop breathing, then we are starting to die.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, ma'am. So true.
Yeah.
So true. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
I mean, we have a lot of people. We can talk about this. We have a lot of people who are not breathing, and I'm not just speaking literally. I'm speaking figuratively, right? We have oppressive systems in the world that suffocate us. We have our own internal and external baggage that just weighs and sits so heavily on our lungs. It really, really impedes our ability to breathe well, to breathe in, and to release. And so we have so many people, even literally, who take these very short, quick breaths every single day, right? And it's like all of life is so expansive and it's right in front of us. Like we're surrounded in air. I'm like, take a deep inhalation.
Yes.
Air release, right? Because it's free. It is God's gift. It is the Creator's gift to us, right? And so first we need to be grounded and centered in our physical bodies, right? And as we center and ground ourselves physically, then we can branch out and explore more emotional and mental, centering and grounding. And then that really prepares us to show up and to be an effective agent of change in the world, particularly during this time, because we're experiencing so much social and political upheaval in America right now. Many Americans, for a variety of reasons, are not able to breathe, are not able to cope, are not able to experience that full inhalation and exhalation, both figuratively and literally, right?
Yeah.
And so what we have to do, those of us who have committed to not only our individual inner work, is that we have to also be equally committed to showing up for others who are not able to breathe, who may
Yes.
not have the resources to take that full inhalation,
Mm.
right? Who may not live in neighborhoods where they can breathe like the
Yeah.
full and experience the full scope of life without, hurdles and obstacles
Yes.
impeding their breath. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know I'm
Yeah.
kind of speaking in high terms right
Yes.
now,
Yeah.
but this message, I believe those of us who are really tuned in will be able to understand
Yeah.
the clear
Yes, I
message
really
that I'm
understand you.
relaying.
And
Hmm.
it is so many people that is so stressed out, and also it is so many people that because they are feeling so much, they are holding their breath instead of
Hmm.
breathing it, so they
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
feel the feelings that is there. Because when you breathe deeply, then you come in contact with your feelings, and so many
Mm.
people are afraid of it.
Ooh, you are speaking the truth, my sister. Yes.
Yes. Yes, and that is because I will show you. I have written a book about it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
get your book.
yeah.
Is it
I'm
available
trying
on
to get it
Amazon?
in English as well. I
Okay,
have written
okay.
it in English, but I haven't done the whole work. But I'm going to do that.
Got it.
I promise.
Got it.
It is
All
it
right.
is about the emotions, at the carousel of the emotions, about how we are not breathing,
Mm,
and how it is when you start to listen to your feelings, how
mm-hmm.
you can change
Mm-hmm.
your life. So we are
Yes.
we are so in tune.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Hedda, I want to be very clear here because, people who will listen to this podcast, they may assume that we are there, right? Whatever there or wherever there
Yeah.
is, right? Our work continues every single day. And let me tell
Yes.
you, from day one when I started, which was really in earnest, sincerely, 1 July of last year of
Yes.
2019 to where I am today. Guess what? Where I am today requires and demands more work, more deliberate
Yes. Yes.
intention, more attention and awareness than when I started, right? And so, folks may think, okay, Hede and Dimario, they're on the glide path. They've gotten it all together, right? It's not
No.
true.
No, it
We
is not true.
continue to show up and to do the
Yes.
work every single day. And let me tell you, like, I still ugly cry on my
Yes.
meditation pillow several times
Yeah, and I have cried.
during the week.
Yes. Yes, I feel you. I feel you.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm crying all the time. I'm crying when I'm talking. I'm crying when I'm happy. I'm crying when I'm on my yoga mat, and I'm crying when I'm doing my meditation. But it is a part of life. It's a part of the cleaning,
Hmm.
to clean and to really commit to this work, because it is
Yes.
so much. And uh, most of the days it is also about being silent and listen,
Hmm. Hmm.
not just doing. So you
Hmm.
have to be silent and listen and meditate, and then you are breathing.
Yes. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. And I also want to reiterate this to everyone, right? The scariest encounter you will ever, and I will add, the most beautiful encounter that you will ever experience in your life is the encounter with yourself.
Yes.
It is equally frightening and fascinating, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
much stuff is
Yes.
going to come up. All those emotions, all those
Yes.
feelings, all those thoughts, the fear, the guilt, the shame, all of it is going to come up, but it must be that way, right?
Yes.
We can only heal that about which we are aware. So we have
Yes,
to
that's so
practice
true.
becoming comfortable with all of this stuff coming up because it needs to be released if we are to
Yes.
heal completely and totally. And the more into it we get, the more intense it becomes. And so the work, the journey is not for the faint at heart, right? You have to go in knowing, understanding, acknowledging that, yep, it's going to take some work, but I am
Yes.
committed to my healing. I'm committed to sitting on my meditation pillow, ugly crying. I'm committed
Yes.
to, like being sprawled and splayed out on the yoga mat because, you're just overcome by feelings of maybe embarrassment and shame.
Yeah.
You have to deal with maybe not wanting to face the world on any given day
Mm.
because maybe you're experiencing some anxiety at the
Mm.
moment, right?
Yeah.
It's all a part of the process, but all those things are such miraculous gifts because it's like the universe is saying, I'm bringing this to your attention because
Yes.
this area needs your attention, right? I'm trying to move you
Yes.
forward. This is not a setback. This is a
No.
setup. What you're feeling, it's not a setback. It's a setup. I'm trying to move you forward, but
Yeah.
the only way out is through.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
so true. It is so true because if you are depressing your emotions, then they are coming in front of you and in front of you and in front of you
Hmm.
so many times that you are saying, okay, I will deal with it. But if you are doing it when it's coming, then it doesn't have to be so strong that
Yes.
it is going to be when you are always not looking at it. So
Yes.
I'm feeling you, and it's so important to have this talk.
Hmm.
And what are you thinking about here in Norway? Many people is saying that it is more difficult for men to show emotions than
Mm.
women. And
Hmm.
what are you thinking about it now? Because you are helping brothers out there in um, your work. What
Hmm.
what what experience do you have in the USA?
Yeah. So men in the USA, just from my own personal experience and observation, have similar difficulties really dealing with acknowledging, right,
Yeah,
emotions. And I was listening to Marianne Williamson. This was actually back in November of last year.
yeah,
And she made a comment that really stuck, that has really stuck with me. And she said that men are more times than not asked, what do you think? Right?
yeah,
Whereas women, more
yeah,
times than not, are asked, how do you feel? Right?
yeah,
And so we have been socialized, um, particularly in more uh, developed industrially, commercially nations,
mm,
right? Men have been conditioned to offer opinion, perspective, and not to necessarily emote and to feel. You think about it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Men, when we engage in the workplace with women, one of the comments that I frequently heard is, well, I can't have a rational, this is from,
yeah,
my male colleagues.
yes.
I have a hard time having a rational, logical conversation with women because, they get all emotional. Right? Right. That is, that's something that I've heard quite frequently, especially because I'm a soldier in the United States Army. And so when we think about that, um, that is frightening.
Yeah,
It's frightening to men.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Like this woman might actually reflect some emotion that maybe activates me and that maybe I have to acknowledge and deal with and release. God forbid. No. God forbid. No, I don't want to do that, And so, men, we're hesitant, right, to
yeah,
have these discussions with women because women reflect back to us some of our own emotional insecurities,
yes,
and we're not prepared to deal with that. So that's just one example.
yeah,
But I would say, broadly speaking, men, we have a hard time acknowledging our emotions and feelings.
mm,
One, because we choose not to go there,
mm,
right? But more importantly, the men in our lives have not modeled that behavior,
no,
and they've not taught us, right? We're taught to be aggressive, assertive, dominant,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Not to exercise compassion, empathy, and forgiveness.
yeah,
And so, because it hasn't been modeled, it's
mm,
not the predominantly accepted model for male behavior, right?
mm,
And expectations, because we've not been taught, because we don't want to go there, because we're not curious enough to learn how to navigate it, nor has no one really kind of thrust it upon us. We're often very hesitant.
mm,
We're very hesitant. And all the suppression of the
yes,
emotions,
yes,
right? We all know that all of that energy has to resurface in
yeah,
some manner. And it's
yeah,
resurfacing as anxiety.
yeah,
It resurfaces as anger, as
yes,
aggressiveness,
yes,
as outrage,
yeah,
right?
yes,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
yes. And do you see, because in the world right now, it is so much sadness, it's so much anger, and do you see that it is more in men that has to work with their emotions, or do you see the same in women at this time?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me be clear that we are all the authors of our own suffering to a
Yeah,
greater or lesser degree, right? So we're all experiencing some suffering, some more than others.
yes,
Um, we're all experiencing that right
yeah,
now.
yes,
But I will
yes,
tell you, and I actually did a video about this when the COVID crisis kicked off. And I encourage both men and women to pay attention to the men in their lives, right?
yeah,
Because COVID has essentially impacted one of the key cornerstones of what it means to be a man, which
yeah,
is to earn income and to provide for one's family.
yeah,
Now, we have many men who no longer have a career. who are no longer
Yes.
bringing in income, who may not have sufficient savings to float a family.
Yeah.
And that, for many men, is a direct, full frontal assault on the ego,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And so men are having these, kind of these super activated moments, right? Because a key part of our identity has been, attacked.
Yeah.
And men, just based on my experience, we're not able to we're not in we're not able to, and we're not often encouraged to really express how we feel. So what are we doing? We are suppressing our feelings,
Yes.
and we are suffering.
Yeah.
Men are suffering big time, because another aspect of the ego in both men and women, but I see it a lot in men,
Mm.
is pride and resistance to asking for help.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
when you have those two operating at a very accelerated pace,
Mm.
what it also does is it accelerates one's own limiting beliefs about one's self-worth.
Yeah.
And it can become a very pernicious and vicious cycle, which leads to these very enhanced states of suffering. And so we are going to have a lot of men, when we return to some semblance of quote unquote normalcy, we're going to have a lot of men who will be very much so different. And I'm not
Yes.
necessarily talking in a positive way, very different
Yeah.
than when this all started. And so I really want to encourage the listeners to be particularly attentive to men, and to ask the probing question, which is, how do you feel?
Yeah.
hmm
Yes.
And leave it open. Leave it
Yes.
open. Don't
Yeah.
don't press it, but just ask,
Yeah.
how do you feel?
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. And I think that is so important. But I have talked to many men, and when I'm saying how are you feeling, they are like freezing. But that's why I'm a little bit laughing here. But it,
It's so
I know
true.
it is. Yeah, it is so important to ask them, how are you doing, or how do you feel, so they have
hmm
to get more in touch with themselves,
hmm
and not
Yeah.
just the ego,
hmm
but their
Absolutely.
heart. And
hmm
you are getting more in contact with your heart when you are starting to listening to your feelings.
hmm hmm Look, Hedda, I work with so many men.
Yeah.
The Army is a predominantly male environment.
Yes.
It's very patriarchal. Um, and I cannot tell you the number of men with whom I've engaged over the years who are suffering,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
particularly combat veterans, right?
Mm.
um,
Yes.
they're suffering in silence because of what they've experienced, what they've
Yeah.
heard, what they've seen, and
Mm.
yet so many refuse to seek help.
Yes.
Now, they will come to me. I will ask the question, and I will, leave the door open for us to sit down and have the conversation. And I cannot tell you the number of men who have just broken down and cried when
Yeah.
we talked about this,
Wow,
because
it is amazing that you do this work, and it is
Mhm.
so important. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, no, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I know it's real, and I
Yeah.
know the issue is very, very significant
Yes,
because I've
it
lived
is.
it for the past 18 years. And that's
Yes.
why I have such a heart for men. Not only because I used to be that way, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yes, I
Um,
understand you.
yeah, and now I know, like, look, it's okay. Like, you will feel so much more free, more liberated if you acknowledge these feelings and work through the process of releasing
Yes. And the releasing is so important, because then you release the energy, and you get more free, what you are
them.
saying,
Mm-hmm.
and you are not holding back yourself, because many people get so stuck in feeling so much and have so many emotion, and doesn't and they get overwhelmed,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
they can't really know what to do. But like you are saying, the men is, they don't want that help either, because it is a sign of weakness also.
Weakness.
Yes,
Yes.
but
Yes.
it isn't.
Absolutely. Mm-mm.
It
No,
isn't.
it's our greatest, our emotions, I think, when equally balanced by our logic, our
Yes.
rationale, because they complement one another,
Yes.
it's powerful. It's
Yes, it
powerful.
is.
But we have, all of us, including myself, up until recently, like, we were in one sphere, one lane or the other. Either we were, you know, excessively emotional or we're rigidly rational.
Yeah.
And so finding that balance, that's a part of the work you know
Yes.
but I found for many men, um you know emotional intelligence, oh no, like, we're not even going to go there you
No,
know yeah.
but it is a part of us, and it is so
Hmm.
important. Like, it is a part of us, the mental um, intelligence as well.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we need the both. We also need the spiritual intellectual. It is so we need all these, so we can be in balance, and be whole, and
Hmm.
also when we get in touch with our emotions, then we are starting to heal and get more and more healed. So that
Yes.
is so important. And
Hmm.
can you please tell me a little bit about your projects? I have seen some of your Facebook lives about your
Hmm.
1 minute mojo. Can you tell me a little bit about it? Because I think it is so amazing and
Yes.
unique.
Yes. Absolutely. So, 1 minute moto is really divinely, or is divinely inspired. The original idea was divinely inspired. The content that flows through me each and every day is divinely inspired. And so 1 minute moto is simply a quick dose of inspiration, um, motivation, to really prompt people to jumpstart one's own transformative experience, right? And so I know that we are all, or at least were, quote unquote, busy. And when the idea struck me that, yes, you know what, you can create um, a product that's going to deliver a powerful message in, a minute, 60 seconds or less,
Yes.
then I just ran with it, because I was like, this is perfect for the professional who maybe has a very full schedule. Like, anyone can take a minute
Yes.
to invest in their own, self development, personal development,
Yes.
well-being, right? Like,
Yes.
no one's that busy where you could not take a minute. So
I love it, and can you give me a 1 minute mojo now?
oh my gosh, yes. So I've actually kind of been playing around with this 1 minute motto. It's kind of been in my head. So, God be with us right now.
Yes.
My 1 minute motto for today is: each moment, each day is a new beginning. We are on the cusp of a solar eclipse, which is a powerful time, a powerful opportunity for us to connect with the divine, to discover who we are, to hone our gifts, skills, and talents. And you can do this right now in this moment. Acknowledge, commit to the work, and just do it. The gateway for your massive success, for your massive transformation is open. So today, I encourage you, I challenge you to step into this present moment and to begin anew.
Oh, thank you so much. It was really lovely. And where can people find you, Dimario?
Yes. So I am all over the interwebs.
Yeah, but you have to give me your all the
Yes.
details, and I would put it under here. Thank you
Yeah,
so.
absolutely.
Yes, thank you so much, Dimario. I really love you, and thank you so much for being on this podcast with me today. And it has been so wonderful, and it is like when we start the conversation, the magic is happening.
Yes, yes, yes. It's the magic happens in everyday conversations like
Yes,
ours between, people from two totally different backgrounds. However, we all have similar spirits that are
yes,
connected, right? And it's in the vein of meeting in spirit and having this beautiful spiritual dance that we
yes,
get to experience these wonderful moments, right? And so, thank you for having me on. I want to say thank you to everyone who listens to this
yes,
podcast. Please feel free, if there's anything that I can do to encourage and or support you or any of your listeners. Please feel free to reach out to me via social media. I'm on all the social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. So, and I also have a very unique name, Dimario L. Habersham. I think I am the only one in the world with that name. So you will have no difficulty
to find you. That
finding
is
me.
amazing.
Yes,
Thank you so
yes.
much. And
Thank you, Hetty.
yes, and thank you to all the listeners today. And have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are in the world.